Alright, we in this motherfucker. What's good, guys? It's Alex, and I'm bringing you a gameplay of, well, me just kinda climbing the ranks right now, season 11. I just decided that, well, I wanted to challenge myself to try to get the challenger using only Lee Sin from basically bronze elo. Oh my god, and it has been an awful fucking road, I've got to tell you. Like, low, well, I'm lying. I'm more like low silver 3, but at the same time, like, that elo in itself, yeah, got the hook right. I think we get the kill here. Yeah, this sets me up pretty well. I'm up against Shaco. I fucking hate playing against Shaco. He's like my arch nemesis. This motherfucker, like, I swear to God, like, 15 minutes in the game, I hit tab and Shaco's got 9 kills because of our bot lane, and so, yeah, it's fucking Shaco. But like I was saying, I've just been climbing the fucking ranks, you know, challenging myself, because, you know, I love League. League is probably one of the greatest games that's ever created. They've got everything from cinematics to their music to the way the game is played to the champions. Like, I just love this game, and I've been playing it since like season 3, and it's season 11 right now. And I've been hard stuck at silver for a good 50 million seasons, and this season I feel like I'm actually gonna hit challenger, just cause I've been investing a lot of time in learning the jungle, how to be a better jungler, with Lee Sin and shit. Like, I'd be watching Peanut, fucking Clid, bro. Clid is nasty with the Lee Sin, if I tell you. He's the one that taught me. Well, I didn't do it in this game, but if you look down at red, you know, you do red and then you queue over that wall at the small Krug, and then you basically clear that shit like probably 10 seconds shorter than any other jungler because of the wall hop or whatever. He taught me that. Like, that kind of opened my view on like how important time is with jungling and shit. And as you can see, Shaco's trying to get his early cheese going, because if Shaco doesn't get anything early, he's pretty much fucking useless unless he fucking, you know, perma farms and I don't do anything the whole time he's farming, which is not gonna happen. Yeah, this motherfucker, like, look at this dude. Like, this is Shaco. These are the fucking Shaco players, bro. Like, you're gonna sit here, and he does take it, and that was the biggest mistake of his motherfucking life. Let me just tell you that, because I go absolutely ballistic this game because of Shaco. I fucking hate that fucking champion. But anyway, this is kind of like an update, how to climb type video. I just kind of want to do a commentary on this gameplay. I didn't do it for the past 2 because that was me just getting back into the game, you know. So in terms of climbing elo and silver, I think it's really important that you learn how to fend for yourself first before you try to do anything fancy, like ganking, even trying to steal drags, smite drags, whatever. Bro, I cannot believe I lived here. Like, bro. They're like, where'd he go? I haven't seen the enemy team pings before, but yeah. But yeah, climbing in silver 2. Not silver 2, just silver in general is just absolutely fucking detriment. Like, I've become a tilt-proof master. Trying to get through fucking silver. Playing Lee Sin, the most fucking team-orientated jungler in the game. Well, not Not necessarily. I mean, the way I play him now is like, I'm an assassin. Like, if you see me, you're going to die. Like, point blank period. And I take every motherfucking dragon. Like, you ain't touching the shit. So, yeah. Just like, I remember my first build playing Lee Sin, and it worked. You know, it worked, but it took a lot of time. And that build is rushing Triforce first into Titanic Hydra. And the reason why I built this build was basically because I played a lot of Udyr. And when you play Udyr, like, you're just trying to get around the map. You're trying to force objectives. You're trying to take shit. And you can play Lee Sin that way too. And I was running Conqueror on that build. And basically I was just a fucking monster. Like, if they let me fucking like permafarm like the Shaco is, the game was pretty much over at like when like I hit like level 15 probably. Trying to remember here. But that was preseason. And basically it only really got me to a certain point because, you know, I don't know, like, I only built that because I knew that I wouldn't be able to rely on my teammates that much in the lower elos, because like you give them a gank and they just back. They don't push the lane, they don't hit the towers, they don't try to go roam, they just fucking say, oh, I got a kill, let me back and buy like a fucking refillable health pot and fucking call it a win. Like, shut up, bitch. Like, yeah, come on, like, push the fucking lane, you know, like. And then when I try to push the lane, they're like, hey, why are you taxing me? I'm like, bitch, I'm fucking carrying. And right here, like, I'm pretty much camping bot lane because I think I mentioned it before, but if Shaco gets a hold of your bot lane early on in the game, it's over. Because he will be able to camp them as well as follow them throughout the rest of the match. So basically my game plan, because before this, I had another Shaco, Lee Sin vs Shaco game, and bro, I hit tab, dude had 9 kills, I look at my bot lane, I'm like, oh, they died to this nigga like 500 million times, like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? And he went full AD, so once he hit that R button and his clone is fucking slapping you in the ass for like 50 fucking years, it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You know? And he sticks on you, you know, whatever you fuck he's building or whatever. And so basically what I learned from that game was like, bro, I gotta get ahead of I gotta get ahead of these fucking Shaco players before they get any type of lead on me, because I believe in that game as well. I was like 7-3, and I'm like, okay, you know, I got my Eclipse, you know, I got the armor pen coming in, you know, I'm cool. So, and this was like game 3 of my promo to gold. So I was like, okay, you know, I learned from my past mistakes, and I'm going to fucking shit on this Shaco. So now I kind of want to do like a little how to get out of low elo, because as of right now I got promoted to gold 4 from my silver 1 promos to 2 gold, so they put me up in a division, which is pretty lit. I knew I was gonna get there eventually. I've just been putting in that work. And yeah, since I got to gold, I knew, I was like, okay, well, I've been pretty much shitting on these losers like every single game, and I'm trying to figure out how I want to make a video about this. So now I'm going to kind of break it down for you. Like, if you want to play Lee Sin and get out of low elo playing Lee Sin, you might want to go my Triforce Titanic build. It's not optimal for early game. You can still dominate in the early game. You can still out jungle with the build, but it's more so like backdoor orientated. Like if you're really trying to rely on your team in these elos, you're fucked. You're actually fucked. You see the way I'm playing right now. Like I'm in everyone's fucking lane and I'm taking every motherfucking kill. So you can go that build, or you can go the build I'm going right now, which is just absolutely insane. I don't think any other Lee Sin's really running this. Look at this Q. Ooh, okay. But so I was playing Udyr one game because they banned my Lee Sin, and they lost that game, by the way, because you don't ban my Lee Sin, because if you ban my Lee Sin, you're getting my Udyr, and my Udyr is 100% win rate right now, and you just don't want to see me on my Udyr. I'm telling you. So, and I forgot to change my masteries, and I'm running phase rush on Lee Sin. I'm like, oh, well, I'm about to int. Bro, when I tell you, phase rush on Lee Sin is probably the best fucking thing that has ever happened to me in this game. And I'm gonna tell you why. My biggest issue with Lee Sin is that once you do your combos, you're kind of just a sitting duck. You're kind of just like, well, if they don't kill me, it's fine, but if they do kill me, it's probably likely they will. But when you run phase rush and you do your combo, you can get out of there so quick. And also, if you're running assassin builds like me, like you're gonna see in this, like I go full fucking like Z build, nigga. Like you can get in, and you can also follow your team. You can follow them as they're running away from you in fear. And it's such a good feeling because you don't have to waste a ward, so you keep your wards, and it's a mastery rather than like an item or something, you know? So I've just been running phase rush on Lee Sin. Like the follow up and the disengage is so fucking awesome. And like the way you follow it's the same. You can play Lee Sin like Udyr. You know, like look at this. See, now I'm super fast and I can build up my like, and like look at that. That's what I'm saying, man. Perfect time. So into the specifics of how to climb with Lee Sin. First, you got to get your mechanics completely down. When I tell you, I spent at least 10 to 15 minutes in practice tool pressing shift B to upload the dummies in mid lane, flash kicking Q flash, you know, Q W R, you know, the insect kicks. You gotta practice doing that until your fingers know what they're doing when you press Q. Okay, so like right here, I know I'm gonna Q in, and then I'm gonna fucking ward right in front of her. Your fingers have to know how to fucking do that. See right here too? And while you're doing that, while you're mastering how to do your Q, your WQ, R, your insect rather, that I can't speak. When you try to practice insecting, you're gonna hone your queuing ability as well. And landing Qs, like everyone knows, is pretty much 70% of his damage. So you gotta land those Qs. Second, you gotta learn how to farm correctly. I don't care how many ranked games you fucking int. I need you to go into every fucking game. If you haven't done this practice already, or every ranked game, go into every ranked game, because you're not gonna get this in any normal troll match. Alright, take the losses like I did. I have over 150 fucking Lee Sin games because I'm practicing in ranked, because I'm just that nigga. learn how to clear with Lee Sin effectively. Learn how to CS in the position of how your enemies are moving and your teammates are moving. You see, I wouldn't be like where I'm at right now in the game. I would not be CSing mid lane if I knew it wasn't going to push mid to pressure mid so they can come up from bot lane without having to siege my bot lane completely. This takes them out of bot lane so that they have to send one motherfucker after me. See, Zoe's coming after me. And you know what? Zoe's 2 and 3 and I'm 5 and 2. She knows she can't do shit. So she's going to stand behind the turret while I smack the shit out of this thing. And then if I come back and I'm like, oh shit, Zoe's there, I'm gonna take his raptor camp. And why am I gonna take his raptor camp? Because he's bot lane right now and he cannot fucking contest me if I'm taking his shit. Alright, so when I'm taking his shit, I'm like, oh, Garen's up top lane and he's about to fucking die. So you know what, I'm gonna take top lane turret because that's gonna force their jungler to come top side while their dragon is coming up in like a minute or so, I think. And what this is going to do, it's going to force Shaco to come topside while we take topside fucking turret. I know I'm going to take this shit, I'm going to back, and I'm going to end up getting the third dragon for free because I forced Shaco to come top. You see? And the only way I'm able to calculate this is by how much I know Lee Sin. Micro movements. Great fucking transition. Micro movements. You have to learn micro movements and how people react to your Q in the game, right? So let's say you're throwing out Qs, right? In your bot lane, every time you throw a Q out to bot lane, it hits them and they're not trying to dodge it, they're just running for their fucking lives. Then you learn that, right? But if your mid lane is one that understands that if you miss your Q, you're fucked, and he's dodging left and right, then you know that you need to maneuver around that. You need to figure out which way he's clicking, you know. And when you distinctively see how these people are clicking around, like see right here, places his fucking box, it's noted in my mind. Okay, well, if I want to Q Shaco, he's probably just gonna box it, so you know what, I'm not gonna Q Shaco. And see right here, perfect example, I can't see them but I know they're there, so I'm gonna throw out a Q real quick, see, and boom, like that. And this is another perfect example. I know she's under turret somewhere, so if I throw a Q here, it's pressuring her. She doesn't know what to do because I threw that Q out. You can use your Q as a threatening signal so that they never, ever, ever, ever come towards you because they know you're such a threat if you're ahead. You see? Another thing with Lee Sin, again, phase rush. Run phase rush. It will save your ass and it will get you fed. Period. Next is building. Right now in season 11, everyone is an assassin. I don't care what you think you're about. Building tank in this game is only fit for Garen players, and if you play Garen, you're a bitch ass nigga. So go assassin as Lee Sin. I would say if you're ahead like me, 6 and 2 at 18 minutes ahead of your jungler, you know, 3 dragons up, go Edge of Night. Edge of Night is kind of a broken item in my opinion for Lee Sin, because they can't catch you out because we got that spell shield. So, oh yeah, my Val cost was just popping the fuck off this game. Some crazy shit happens right around here. Watched this gameplay before I, recorded it. So, another thing about low elo. Bro, you can't rely on your teammates, and you know what? I'm never gonna rely on my teammates ever again, bro. It's so important to figure out how to move around the map as you're like, bro. Kick. See, look how fast I am, bro. I can get in and out instantly. Okay. Look at this shit. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. Okay. So, now... It's another thing. Yeah, this shit's crazy right here. Cause Garen was just doing Garen shit. I'm like, oh fuck, Garen's gonna come Garen me real quick. I'm like, huh? Ooh, Yeet. Oh, out of here, bitch. See, look at that. Phase rush. And then I'm like, oh, boo. Alright. So, another thing that's important. Let me think here. Yeah, learning how to jungle. When you first learn how to farm, you will get the feel of how it is to move in your own jungle. The next thing you need to do is you need to understand that after you figure out and situate how you want to play the game, how you are farming, you take your attention to the enemy jungler only. You have to be very keen on what the enemy jungler is doing, because in this season, if the jungler dies, you're fucked. It's so important for the jungler to stay alive in this game, because of just how blatant these objectives are when it comes to like how much fucking power you get from it. Like, yeah, these dragons don't give a lot of fucking stats, but the pressure it puts on them, especially here, like getting soul, like they know, like, oh, we can't give them soul, so they're always going to be running around the bot side of the map. And because I know they're going to be running around the bot, like, look at me, I'm at red buff, I'm instantly at red buff, and I'm like, okay, so either Shaco's not there, so Shaco must be here. Oh, boom, later, bitch. I took way too much damage there. So, I'm trying to think, bro. Is there anything else I did not cover? Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't finish about the jungle. Bro, you gotta figure out how the enemy jungler is moving. And a good way to phrase this is like, if the enemy jungler is bot side and you're just spawning back into your base and they are ganking your fucking bot lane and there's Rift Herald up, do Rift Herald. And if he continues to siege down bot lane like level 3 and does absolutely no damage and tries to only get 2 fucking tower plates bot lane and fails to do so, take his entire topside jungle. And when you do this, you deny him any sort of XP. And especially in low elo, if they have nothing to fucking farm in their jungle, they will int down the lane until they figure out what the fuck they want to do next. I swear to God. And when you put them there, you can instantly figure out how they're going to move for the rest of the game. And once you know how the enemy's going to move, especially as Lee Sin, because you're so mobile, it's over. It's fucking over. I mean, look at me, dude. I'm fucking 13-3, bro. Because I'm out fucking jungling this Shaco. So, I guess we can go into like why I even wanted to play Lee Sin, right? Bro, like I said before, like, I was just tired of hearing these you know, the League of Legends community saying that, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, the meta this, the meta that, like, you gotta play this type of jungler to get out of this sort of meta, and you gotta download this sort of fucking program to know what your teammates are doing, and you gotta know this tier list so that, bro, I'm gonna tell it to you like this. The only way you're gonna fucking get better at this game is by playing more ranked games and playing one champion at a time and mastering that champion. If you are focusing all your attention on 3 different champions in a 158 champion fucking pool game, you're fucked. It's gonna take way longer. And if you're only playing junglers that are in the meta, What are you gonna do 2 weeks after 2 weeks when they nerf the shit out of that jungler? You're gonna have to learn another one. And when you have to learn another jungler, you're gonna have to go through the same shit. And that's why I chose Lee Sin. Because the moment you fucking master this motherfucking champion, you master the best jungler in the entire fucking game. You master the best champion in the fucking game. Because you can't nerf Lee Sin. You can't counter Lee Sin. You can't outskill Lee Sin. You can't outwork a perfectly mechanicked Lee Sin player. They will style on you. They will take your fucking 80 carries down Hell's Road. They will fucking flash kick your ass into their team and back ping your ass when they fucking pentakill your ass with your fucking assassin build with phase rush. And guess what? You'll live too because you're out of that bitch. Sorry. Now, what's important with Lee Sin is that you don't fall off late game with this new build, because each item you build, you gain more armor penetration. Okay, and when you build more when you get more armor penetration for every item you get, it increases your scaling ability. And that was the biggest thing with Lee Sin, is that he was really having a hard time scaling in the past, especially with the items and shit. And now, because you don't even have to build your fucking or buy a jungle item, the game is free. Look at this, they can't fucking do shit. Okay, but Eclipse is your first item for sure. But if you fall behind, I recommend Dead Man's. If you're kind of going even and you're going against like a really heavy mid, AP mid, Hex Drinker is always good, especially because of the AP supports nowadays. And if we want to talk about lane prioritization, it doesn't really matter which lane you prioritize, because it's all about you. You know, you're gonna be the one that's gonna be carrying these games. You cannot rely on your teammates, and I'm gonna say it over and over again. You cannot rely on your fucking tier list. You can't rely on the most broken OP shit because of the patch and because of Riot's mishaps. No, you gotta get good at the fucking game. And the best way to get good at a game is to figure out what champion suits you the best. What champion do you want to continuously lock into, even if your team fucking ints after you get 20 kills before 10 minutes and you steal Baron and you still lose the game. What champion do you want to lock in after that game and be okay with it? For me, it's Lee Sin. Pick one champion. Pick one champion and get your ass out of the low elo. Period. It's that simple. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you want to learn Lee Sin, it's one hell of a fucking trial and error game. I did not play normal games. I practiced with Lee Sin in all my ranked games. I locked in ranked every single day. Another thing I can look at this shit, like what? Okay, another thing I did was I watched Korean and Chinese players play Lee Sin. This only helped with my jungle pathing. If you have a hard time learning how to path in the jungle, watching Chinese players will definitely help you. And watch Chinese Lee Sin players. They're really fucking good. I recommend Klid. I think he's Korean though. Klid is really fucking good with Lee Sin. So yeah, and another thing, like I said, practice tool, sit and practice tool. You know, kick those dummies around for at least 15 minutes before you fucking get into ranked games. It helps a lot with muscle memory with your fingers. And once you get that shit down, you'll feel more in control, which will help you feel more accessible to maneuvering in the jungle. And yeah, I would say that's just about it for how to get out of low elo in with Lee Sin. Lee Sin's just a perfect champion. He's like, you don't play Lee Sin. Lee Sin plays you. Wow. And once you learn how to master the way he moves, there's nothing else you can do. Nothing else they can do. Is there anything else that I'm missing here? Pressure. Rift Herald is extremely important. I know for the most part in low elo, I never really got any help from doing for pinging Rift Herald, so just because you don't get help on a certain objective doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Make sure you have complete control over these objectives in this game because they are so important. Rift Herald, you can completely destroy like entire lane sieges, like all the way to their fucking nexus. And I'm telling you, it's happened game after game after game. And I would say early game, if you're going to make trades, do not trade Dragon for Rift Herald. That is a loss. If you trade early dragons for Rift Herald, it is a loss, in my opinion. I believe we win the game here. So yeah, that's pretty much the that's all I gotta say for this game, for Lee Sin, for where I'm at. I am now in gold. I am looking forward to hitting Challenger, and yeah, see you guys in the next one. Good luck.